My name is Harshit, and I welcome you all to this weekly interview round 3. To inform you all of the background of the interview, this is the official page of Opine Diaries. Opine Diaries is a free blogging and reading platform that is available at opinediaries.com. This is the official page of Opine Diaries, where we conduct interviews of writers who win competitions, who win our weekly competitions. It was Writers Carnival this week. So those winners, those writers who win the competitions, who are the winners of the week, we invite we give our platform to them, we give our stage to them, our Instagram page to them for 30 minutes, 15 minutes, in order to in order for them to express their views, to tell about what they think about writing and so on and so forth. Ladies and gentlemen, once again I welcome you all in this interview. Yeah, and I welcome our today's guest, Mr. Paarth Wassan, in this interview. Many congratulations, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, initial words from you, sir. Sir, are you listening to me?
Yes.
Yeah. What I was saying, that if you'd like to say something in the beginning, please go ahead.
Sure. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Paarth Wassan, a writer, a poet, and currently I'm studying in grade 10th. I'm also an influencer, certified by our Honorable Shri Pradhan Mantri Narendra Modi ji, also by MyGov. And yeah, I love to write, and Opine Diaries has given me a platform where I can share my write-ups with each and everyone. So thanks a lot for this opportunity and for selecting me as a winner.
Thank you very much, sir. We should, I guess, begin with the interview. So, since you have already told your name as to what your name is, Paarth Wassan. So, the very first thing, what is your native place? Where do you reside now?
Uh, can you please repeat? There was some issue with.
No big deal. Where do you live?
I'm from Faridabad, Haryana.
Faridabad, Haryana. So, as I already told you, are in grade 10th. So, how things going? It's nice, good, great.
Right now, a little bit of stress is there because COVID cases are rising. Also, we are having our board exams after a couple of days. So yeah.
Yeah, so means you're stressed regarding the conduct of the exams, means if they're going to be conducted during the COVID or not.
Yeah.
Okay. Hope to have some good news for you again. Just a
Thank you so
yeah,
much.
always. Yeah. Let's come to what you do and what you prefer doing in your vacant time, or whatever you wish to call it. You write, as far as was by far what I have got to know from an introduction, that you aim to write things when you vacant time or whatever time you have, you aim to write. So you're in grade 10th first, then you're interested in writing. You write regularly, as far as I know. So how do you manage the both during this time when your exams are just on the door? How do you manage to do things like you participated just this week in the competition? So how do you manage these things?
I spend my whole day in studying for 10th. As you know, boards are crucial part of our life. And at night, I
Obviously.
used to write things. I used to just jot down everything. I have my thoughts, my thinking, my emotions. I write everything at night. I write my books at night because at that time I have my full concentration there. So yeah.
Okay, means you are saying that the daytime you utilize your daytime in studying and the nighttime in writing and stuff. During all this pressure, first, at this age, second, and third, with everything going on here and there, what inspires you to write? What makes you believe that putting things in words, putting your thoughts in words, or putting whatever you think of the world, whatever you think about anything into words, expressing them through words, not by any other medium like audio or video? What inspires you for that, or what made you choose that medium?
You might have heard that quote, pen has more power than sword. So I
Certainly.
feel like writing things and sharing your views and ideas through writing is better option than rather than fighting or rather than creating violence. As let's take an example of one of our famous freedom fighters. He just jot down everything about satyagraha and non-violence. So yeah, through this example, we can say that pen has more power than sword, and writing things is a better option than creating violence or wars.
Okay, so means by far what I have aimed to understand that you go with writing because one, it is somewhat eternal. Second, it is somewhat docile thing. Means you write sternly about something, but you don't go on killing people and creating violence or any such thing or inciting people, even for that reason. So we have with us Ambikesh too. So Ambikesh, पूछना चाहेंगे आपको. Sorry, I forgot to ask one thing. Since you wrote your write up in English, what's your mother tongue? Means it's English or Hindi?
Basically, it's Punjabi.
Okay, so it's Punjabi. I'm extremely sorry because I don't know that much of Punjabi that I can converse
No problem at
with
all.
you in Punjabi. Yeah. So do you understand Hindi little bit or it's
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
okay? Okay, yeah. So yeah, perfect. So Ambikesh,
Okay.
if you have आपके पास
Yes,
अगर
sir.
कोई सवाल हो तो आप please go ahead.
Okay. Hi, Parth.
Hello, Ambikesh.
Yeah. Actually, I want to some questions for you.
आप हिंदी में भी पूछ सकते हैं, कोई दिक्कत नहीं.
Okay.
ठीक है.
ये आप ये राइटिंग प्रोफेशन आपने क्यों चुना?
राइटिंग प्रोफेशन नहीं, मेरा पैशन है राइटिंग लिखना, क्योंकि जैसे मैंने अभी बताया.
एक्चुअली जी जी.
जैसे मैंने
एक्चुअली ये तो लोगों की हॉबी होती है लिखना, बट कुछ लोग इसको अपना प्रोफेशन भी बना लेते हैं.
जी,
तो मैं आपको एक चीज पूछना चाहूंगा, आपने इसको क्यों चुना?
लिखना मुझे इंस्पिरेशन, मैं सच्ची बताऊं तो जब मैं आई गेस 6th या 7th क्लास में था तब एक नॉवल है, नॉवल सीरीज है गूज बम्प्स, अगर आप लोगों ने सुना हो. R.L. स्टीन के द्वारा वो लिखी गई है. तो वो
जी.
पढ़कर मतलब मेरा इंटरेस्ट बना कि फिक्शन राइटिंग में. फिर मैंने अपनी पहली बुक आई गेस 13 की एज में पब्लिश कराई थी, इनटू द वर्ल्ड्स ऑफ वैम्पायर्स एंड वेयरवुल्व्स. और बस फिर उसी के बाद से मेरा राइटिंग की जर्नी स्टार्ट हो गई.
तो आपकी राइटिंग से एक्सपेक्टेशन क्या है? आप क्या एक्सपेक्ट करते हो?
मैं बेसिकली राइटिंग में ज्यादा कुछ नहीं लिखता, बस जो मैं मैसेज अगर लोगों तक पहुंचा.
या
अभी बीच में नो टोबैको फ्री डे आया था, उस पे आर्टिकल्स पब्लिश कराए थे. वर्ड्स ज्यादा स्प्रेड करता हूँ लोगों में.
तो आपकी ये ओपाइन डायरी से जब आप जुड़े, तो ये ओपाइन डायरी से जुड़ने की कुछ तो आपकी वजह रही होगी. कुछ एक्सपेक्ट किए होगे कि ओपाइन डायरी आपको वो आपके एक्सपेक्टेशन को वो प्रोवाइड कर पाया या नहीं?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. मतलब ओपाइन डायरीज ने इतने सारे लोगों तक मेरी जो राइटअप्स थे, मेरे जो कंटेंट था, उसे बहुत सारे लोगों तक पहुंचाया है. एंड फॉर दैट आई एम थैंकफुल टू ओपाइन डायरीज. और या जो एक्सपेक्टेशंस थी वो ओपाइन डायरीज ने पूरी की है.
थैंक यू. एक्चुअली ये हम लोग की यही एक वजह रही है कि लोगों की एक्सपेक्टेशन है और लोगों की जो ख्वाहिश वो होता है उसको पूरा करना. क्योंकि बहुत से लोग हैं इस राइटिंग के प्लेटफॉर्म पे पीछे रह जाते हैं प्लेटफॉर्म ना मिलने के कारण. ये ओपाइन डायरीज का सिर्फ एक ही रहता है कि लोगों को कैसे एक प्लेटफॉर्म प्रोवाइड करो, वो ताकि वो अपनी रचनाओं को या अपनी बातों को लोगों के सामने रखा जा सके। जब तक ये इंटरनेट की दुनिया है तब तक तो पॉसिबल नहीं है कि कोई आपकी लिखी हुई एक एक वर्ड्स भी वहां से हटा सके।
जी
अदरवाइज अगर हम बुक करते हैं तो बुक में क्या, मैं खुद 15+ एंथोलॉजीज कर चुका हूँ, बट मैं फिर भी प्लेटफॉर्म पे जब जो भी होता है मैं बुक्स में देता हूँ। उसे लिखने के जब तक प्लेटफॉर्म पे मैं डालूंगा नहीं तब तक और कहीं नहीं लिखता, क्योंकि मुझे पता है कि अगर आज नहीं तो कल बुक्स लोग बुक पढ़ना बंद कर देंगे,
बिल्कुल।
क्योंकि ये डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म है। यहाँ सब लोग सबको चाहिए, वो चाहते हैं कि हर चीज मेरा पूरी दुनिया मेरे स्मार्टफोन में मिल जाए।
जी
तो ये ओपाइन डायरीज की एक ही मतलब क्या करो, ये टारगेट रहा है कि जितने भी लोग हैं उनको एक फ्री ब्लॉगिंग रीडिंग प्लेटफॉर्म प्रोवाइड किया जाए। हम लोग कहीं भी जाते हैं, अदरवाइज आपके मतलब फैमिली रिलेटेड भी आते हैं, आप उनसे कहिए कि मैं राइटर हूँ, अमेजोन पे या फ्लिपकार्ट पे अवेलेबल है, आपके रिलेटिव तक उस बुक को नहीं खरीदेंगे।
बिल्कुल।
बट अगर ये कि भैया आपका व्हाट्सएप नंबर कहाँ है, बताइए, हम उसे अपना लिंक से शेयर कर देते हैं, आप पढ़ लीजिए, तो वो बंदा 1 मिनट भी नहीं लगाएगा, उस लिंक को ओपन करके पढ़ेगा। ओपाइन डायरी सिर्फ एक प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं है, एक फैमिली है। हम जो भी राइटर, ये राइटर्स की वर्ल्ड है, राइटर की फैमिली, ये इंडिया की पहली एक ऐसी प्लेटफॉर्म है जो फ्री ब्लॉगिंग एंड रीडिंग प्लेटफॉर्म है ये। और आप इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे हैं तो आप खुद ही जान रहे होंगे या इसको अच्छे से रीड कर चुके होंगे कि कैसे ये वर्क करता है।
बिल्कुल। जैसा भी आपने बताया कि
ओके।
एंथोलॉजीज इतनी सारी आप पार्ट कर चुके हैं, मैं भी अभी मेरी रिसेंटली 25+ एंथोलॉजीज कंप्लीट हुई हैं। और मुझे भी कहीं ना कहीं ये लगता है कि इतनी सारी बुक्स के बाद भी लोग मेरे कंटेंट को इतना नहीं पढ़ पाते हैं, क्योंकि लोगों तक मतलब लोग ज्यादा बुक्स रीडिंग के बजाय आजकल सब कुछ डिजिटली चाहते हैं। तो
चाहिए।
इसलिए मैंने भी अपना कंटेंट ओपाइन डायरी पर पोस्ट करना शुरू किया है और मुझे अच्छा रिस्पॉन्स मिल रहा है।
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
पढ़ना तो सब चाहते हैं बट कोई बुक नहीं पढ़ना चाहता। आज हर किसी के फोन में आपको ई बुक मिल जाएगा डाउनलोड किया हुआ, बट घर पे पूछे कि हाँ बुक एक चैप्टर खोल के बताइए तो अपना बुक दीजिए, कहे ठीक है व्हाट्सएप नंबर बताइए मैं बुक सेंड कर देता हूँ।
जी
ये हम लोग की पढ़ना चाहते हैं, बट लोग वहां से पढ़ना चाहते हैं जहां ये सुटेबल हो। और बुक्स
Yeah.
की क्या बताऊं, बुक तो सब कोई पढ़ता है, बट कहीं ना कहीं देखा जाए तो आज या 10 साल बाद अगर देखा जाए, अगर हमारी फैमिली में हम कल को आपकी शादी हो जाती है, आपके बच्चे पूछते, आप बताएंगे उन्हें कि मैं राइटर हूं, तो आपके बच्चों को आपका बुक नहीं मिलेगा। अगर हार्ड कॉपी आप घर पे रखे हो तो वो प्रोवाइड तो कर दोगे, बट और कहीं कह दो कि आपको प्रोवाइड हो जाए, ये मार्केट में 1 साल बाद ही नहीं मिलेगा।
जी
हम लोग ज्यादातर लोग देखेंगे कंपटीशन होता है तो वो व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप से करवाते हैं। व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप क्या, 24 आवर के बाद आप अपना 1 घंटे बाद ही अपना पोस्ट किया हुआ खोजिए आपको व्हाट्सएप पे। बट अगर आप साइट से अपलोड करके करते हैं तो आप कहीं भी रहिए, ऑल इंडिया या ऑल वर्ल्ड, कहीं भी रहिए, आपको आपका लिंक प्रोवाइड हो जाएगा।
जी
और और कहीं आप जाइए आपको ये वर्ड लिमिट मिल जाते हैं, बट इसमें नो बाउंडेशन एंड नो लिमिट्स। आप अपनी भावनाओं को कितने शब्दों में व्यक्त करते हैं ये आप पे निर्धारित करता है। और वैसे तो आप 10th क्लास के स्टूडेंट रहे हैं, मैं चाहूंगा कि
अभी
आप
वो 10th क्लास
और
में है, इस
अभी
साल वो
आगे
10th पास
बढ़ते
करेंगे।
हैं।
हाँ।
10th पास पास कर चुके हैं।
नहीं,
नहीं,
अभी
10th
मेरे
पास
बोर्ड्स हैं।
तो
करेंगे
आपने
वो।
कैसे
अभी वो 10th पास
आपने कैसे मैनेज किया इसे,
वही।
राइटिंग के साथ साथ बोर्ड एग्जाम भी।
मैंने अभी बताया ऊपर सर को कि मैं पूरा दिन अपना सारा पढ़ाई वगैरह में जो भी सिलेबस वगैरह कवरेज था वो किया, और उसके बाद मैं रात को अपने व्यूज पॉइंट्स और थॉट्स को लिखता था। और मतलब अभी भी लिखता हूँ, अपनी बुक्स जो भी होती हैं उन्हें भी अभी रात को ही लिखता हूँ, क्योंकि टाइम मैनेजमेंट बहुत डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है क्योंकि बोर्ड्स भी जरूरी है और राइटिंग भी.
So yeah, thank you, Ambikesh. मैं मैं भी पूछ लेता हूँ. So since you wrote about childhood, is there anything that you'd like to tell us about the childhood, or the para that you wrote, or the blog that you wrote? Anything that you want to recite? Anything that you want to say?
चाइल्डहुड बचपन के बारे में मैं अपना एक छोटी चीज बताना चाहूंगा. तब वो जो मेरा फेवरेट टाइम होता था बचपन में, मतलब अभी भी बचपन ही है पर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज बढ़ जाती हैं और जैसे जैसे आपकी पढ़ाई अपना राइटिंग वगैरह. तो लेकिन बचपन में सबसे अच्छा होता था कि मतलब जब हम लोग अपने नानी हाउस जाते थे, उसके बाद सारे हम लोग कजन्स वगैरह भाई बहन वगैरह मिलके बैठते थे, थोड़ी सी बातें होती थी, मस्ती होती थी. तो वो टाइम सबसे बेस्ट रहता था क्योंकि तब कोई स्ट्रेस नहीं, कोई कुछ नहीं, कोई टेंशन नहीं, सिर्फ अपने भाई बहनों के साथ बैठना और एंजॉय करना.
Yeah. So means one thing that I wanted to ask you: whenever we talk about childhood, whenever we talk about the old days, we tend to relate it with some sort of a nostalgia. Means a sort of nostalgia enters into our mind that purana din, purani baatein, all such things. Means
हम्म.
we tend to romanticize old days. By romanticizing of the old days, isn't that a means either that's a trend, or like we can say a trend, or that a usual phenomena that we tend to disregard our present time, or growing up? Means is it something that you too feel, or is it something that that's just means what we say, a manifestation of growing up, that we when we tend to grow up, we forget the memories, or we tend to forget what happiness really means? So how do you look at things?
We don't actually forget what happiness means or these childhood memories. It's just with great, as we grow, we have more responsibilities on our shoulders. So we need to look after our families. We need to look after our jobs and all. So in that mess, we don't really get time for having a quick flashback to our childhood memories and feeling happy
Means
and glad that we
yeah.
spent that time.
So what you're saying, that due to hectic schedule or work schedule or whatever that schedule is, we tend to enjoy happiness much less. So that's why when we talk about the old days, we did have time at that point, and then we relate with some nostalgia and happiness. Perfect. So moving ahead, in writing, as you already mentioned, you have already completed about 25 anthologies. You have published many books. One thing I wanted to know from you is, when we write a book, or when we tend to produce something like a book, like there's an entire industry running on it, like publishing industry. There's an entire industry running on books, on writers. How do you see the market? Means how do you see, like, if you got a book published, what's the market? What's the marketing thing? What is the end of it? How are the things going in the industry? What do you feel about, like, if you have already published few books, or many, as whatever the number is? What do you think about the market, and what do you think is the market ahead in the times?
Right now, after publishing the book, the main thing is to market, to promote your book. That every writer is trying to do. But the thing is, somewhere maybe new writers are emerging, they are getting opportunities to get their work in front of everyone, but somewhere there is a lack of marketing thing, because new writers don't know how to market, how to promote their book. So this thing has to be taught to new writers before they could get their book published.
Okay. So coming on to the next question, like if we talk about medium, like, to deal with the mediums, writing is or writers basically relate with the medium of writing, the first thing. Second is, there are other mediums too, like this audio medium. People used to recite things, recite stories, recite poems, songs, whatever that is. Second is the audio medium. Third is, people sit before a camera, they speak things, they act it. That is the video medium. In all the three, where do you see the writing medium going? Means as far as so far what we have came to know, that when we say writers, when we say readers, we tend to relate with something like literature only. Means when we say reader, we don't think that it's a UPSC aspirant reading an article in the Hindu. We don't relate with that part. We only relate with a guy sitting in bed having a book, having a novel, most specifically. We relate with that imagery. Do you think this imagery is a sort of creating some damage to the industry itself because people are not able to reimagine that entire medium in some bigger space?
I don't think so because new mediums are helping writers too. Like writers are nowadays writers are podcasting their write-ups. So that's another medium because as we already discussed that nobody in today's world has that much time or likes to read books and novels. So people started podcasting their write-ups so that more and more people can enjoy that.
Uh, means as I mentioned that they are converting their creations from one medium to another medium, means from writing medium to audio medium. That's one part. Means like the writing medium, like as I said to you, like if you imagine 2011. In 2011, whenever we used to watch a video on, means usually we used to watch it on TV only. No, means very few people had iPhones at that time or iPods at that time. So basically, the larger population used to watch things on the TV. Most specifically, the video would used to be either a serial or a movie or some reality show. What happened later on is entered the YouTube into the market. Now, as soon as YouTube entered into the market, it explored the video medium. Now, whatever keyword you search for on the YouTube, you get the medium for the same. The point is, shouldn't there be an expedition to explore other mediums too in the same manner? Like if you see Savan, if you see Spotify, audio mediums are being explored. There are podcasts, there are stories, there are many a thing. Isn't writing medium too ought to explore or unravel things in itself in such a manner that it can um, re reattract or it can regain the audiences that it has lost in the past time?
Yeah,
Means you relate with
writing
that part.
has that ability.
Uh, your voice didn't come properly. I guess there was some network issue on your part.
Yeah, there's some network issue over here.
Okay. So, as was I was asking, so what do you think? Means, like as we always say that audience is important. Like if you let's suppose you are a writer, you thought of the topic, you prepared the draft of the book, it got published too. But at the end of the day, what matters is it sustainable? For it to continue for a long time, it is ought to be sustainable. How long will I continue to publish books and get my company crept up in losses? So, what about the sustainability part? What do you think about that?
New books, so for sustainability, I would say that new books may attract people, and basically the I would be being honest. The cover page. People judge a book by its cover page. If they get interested in that cover page, they they start buying that book and reading it. Though it's even if the story is not that interesting, but the cover page attracts. So for a sustainability part, I would say uh, we need to just understand this thing how to actually promote. The promotion part is the crucial part for all these things, sustainability and sales of the books. This all is connected to promotion. The way a writer promotes his or her book or a writer represents how his book or the story of that book, or even if it's non-fiction, then what's the content in that book is.
But the issue is, means if you talk about yourself, means you began in a very early age. If you talk about others writers, means they ought to think about their content. They ought to research regarding their content. They can research about the cover posters too. But the world that we live in is a hardcore marketing world. Means it's a hardcore marketing world. There's no doubt about that part. If you are able to market things well, go ahead. You can sell anything here. the point is, if you're a writer, if you tend to explore emotions and all such things, and whatever the field you have chosen, isn't is it going to be always true that you know marketing too, or you know marketing equipments too? Means there is a problem, no? Like, if I am a writer, why am I supposed to know marketing? Don't you confront that conflict in your life too? Means you're a writer, you have to think about your content, and you have to think about how to make it much more better and all such things. But the as far as the promotion part of it is concerned, like, movies are made, movies are made, but the amount of expenditure that is spent on all them, like they have teams, like this team, that team, they plan things. Is publishing a book that a big phenomena that we aim to plan things so much that for promotion of a single book we aim to explore it so much, and depending on other teams, like a writer, most specifically, you're from a big city. Most writers in small cities don't know any means any ABCD of marketing. What do you think about this part?
No, according to me, publishing is not a big thing to do. Nowadays, sources are given to those who live in small towns and cities, or and basically, it's not a big thing. Many publishing companies are there to help writers step by step. I know a few of them, like Notion, even not taking so much expenditure from them, or the writers are not supposed to spend a lot to publish a single book or to market a single book. The publishing companies are doing that part nowadays, so that's a good thing about that.
Okay, so at the end of all the things, uh, we have, I guess, the yeah, it's already 9:30. So we have reached to the end of the interview. What I aim to encapsulate at the end of it is that with an objective to give writers a space to explore the writing medium itself. Like as I mentioned earlier, that whenever we imagine writers, we tend to imagine person reading novels or reading books only. We don't tend to imagine things that already have a market, that already have a very what we say, a fixed market, like students one thing, professionals and all such things. So the exploration is first part in the writing medium. Second is, are you able to get it at one place or not? Means if I am a reader, I want to read something, I sitting at night in my bed or anywhere, sitting in the morning, I am I supposed to go for A to Z search from Google, that this article, that article, this one, that one. So with an aim in mind, to create a one-stop destination for all such articles, for all such poetries, poems, stories, whatever one wants to read in the writing medium, whatever one wants to go ahead in the writing medium, whatever one wants to consume, and to create a market of the same in order to have the audiences. Now, the point is, whatever the writing medium is, once you have the audiences who are interested in the writing medium, you can slowly push the boundaries. You can slowly create a market. And the point is, in what currently lacks today is, you publish it, you market it, it's all well. But the point is, it's growing. First thing. Second is, it won't be always there, as you yourself told just in this interview beforehand, that 1 year maximum, not even 1 year, maximum 1 year, the books remain in the market. Whenever, I mean, later on, if you go on to buy it, you won't even find it in the market. So the future is maximum 1 year. Now, with an aim in mind, to give writers a proper space, to give their write-ups a proper space, to give their creations a proper space, we came up with this idea of Opine Diaries, and we aim to grow the writing medium, grow the medium of reading, grow the community of writers and readers, and to include all those writers and readers into it who are not the typical ones. Like literature, like when we go out for as competitions for the specific topics, what we find that most of the articles, most of the write-ups that we receive relate with the literature thing, like either they are poems or they are stories or something of that sort. Very less we receive articles or essays or some uh, pertinent things into that thing. So, in order to explore that medium, in order to provide that medium with some quality, like with open source things, quality is always an issue. And whenever you're going to create a market, quality has to be fulfilled. Because when the audience won't come to you if the quality is not fulfilled. So, with an aim to do all such things and to give write-ups a proper space, like as it was mentioned by Ambikesh earlier that in doing the WhatsApp thing, what people used to do, they do competitions there. And the point is, you do competition there, you invite the write-ups there. What happens next? The write-ups aren't published anywhere. They haven't been stored anywhere. Neither you can show it to anyone other than sending it by yourself. So, in order to eliminate all those problems and to give writers a space where they can be themselves, to bring an open source platform to the writers and to the readers in order to facilitate a market of sustainable reading and writing, we have came up with this idea. And I'm extremely thankful of you that you joined us in this interview. I'm extremely thankful of you that you joined Opine Diaries, and I'm extremely thankful of you that you participated in our competition. And your final words, and then we'll interview this.
Actually,
Yeah,
I have a question.
yeah. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Puche.
Yeah.
Yes.
Parth, are you writer?
Yeah.
What you mean about writers?
About
आप
writers,
writers की
writers are the people. Somewhere they are a warrior. A writer is a warrior who doesn't fight with a sword, but fights with his own write-ups, with his words, with his pen. As we all know, pen has more power than sword.
Okay, that's
और कोई
over.
बात
Uh,
Ambikesh?
no.
Yeah. So, Parth, final words from you, and then we'll end this interview.
I would
And thank
like.
you हम लोग की side
Yeah, just yeah, Parth, please go ahead.
thank you.
Okay. So first of all, I'm obliged that Opine Diaries invited me for this interview and for making me the winner of that competition, Childhood Memories. And I hope I'll be continuing with my work with Opine Diaries, and I would love to go ahead in my writing journey with Opine Diaries. And thank you so much, everyone.
You're
Will surely be
welcome.
available on every turn of your life, in every turn of your writing career, and many, many good wishes to for your board exams first. And means you're already doing very good in the
Thank you
writing
so
career, so
much.
many, many good wishes for that part too. And thank you very much,
Thank you
Parth,
so
for
much.
joining us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, guys.
Uh,
Thank you
very
so
good night,
much.
gentlemen. Yeah, very good night.
Good night.
Thank you.